All right, what is up, guys? Welcome back to Late Night Shots Podcast, episode 51 today. Today we have a lot of big things to talk about. So, as you know, the only conference really left at this point before we get into nationals is the Big Ten. It's the biggest conference, the best conference, and the hardest conference. So, Preseeds just came out. Today we're going to be talking about giving you our opinions on, some things might not go the way we really wanted them to, and we're going to see some kind of crazy first-round quarterfinal matchups in this. So, we'll hop right into it at 125, right? So
Yep.
obviously, Spencer Lee been dominating his weight class.
Yep.
Won his first Big Ten title last year, but he's also going for his third national title last year. So it's going to be interesting, right? So at number one, obviously, we have Spencer Lee. Number two is Liam Carter from Nebraska. Number three is Malik Hansman from Ohio State. Number four is Patrick McKee from Minnesota. Number five is Rayvon Fuller from Michigan State. Number six is Eric Barnett from Wisconsin. Number seven is Devin Schroeder, former Big Ten finalist from last year, returning Big Ten finalist, should I say. Michael D'Agostino from Northwestern is number eight. Number nine, which is going to be interesting, is Dylan Ragusin from Michigan. And number 10 is Justin Cardini from Illinois. And number 11 is Robert Howard from Penn State. I probably won't talk about the last three, but those are Jacob Moran, Dylan Shaver, and Zach Spence, right? So we look at this, obviously I think anybody can really say Spencer Lee's the guy right now, right? But
Yep.
there's a couple of things we should talk about are Eric Barnett and Dylan Ragusin and Robert Howard. Those are three guys I think are going to place higher than their seeding. I think Howard, he won a match and then he dropped one to Malik Hansman 5-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what are your overall thoughts on this, just like looking right at it?
In terms of because this pretty much is going to become who can make the finals against Spencer Lee. I'm never going to not root for Barnett, but I mean, Ragusin's going to be interesting. I mean, he spent some time at 133, and I mean, he didn't have the most amazing showing there, but I mean, it's just hard to see anything other than Spencer Lee just completely dominating this weight class, either by tech or pin in the finals, regardless of who it is. So
I mean,
it would be nice to see a more contested match.
I'll say it right now. I think I don't think this is too bold of a call, but I think Malik Hansman makes the finals.
Yeah.
I think, again, he's a guy who's a veteran at this weight class. Didn't have the greatest two last season, but he was ranked, right? Could have made a run.
Malik Hansman is my first choice.
Yeah, I think he is because I think he's a big body who can possibly take Spencer Lee 7 minutes, if anyone, in this weight class.
Yeah.
So I don't think.
I think right now it's just as sorely as I want to root for Robert Howard as well. I just feel like right now he just hasn't. His style of wrestling is kind of like it doesn't really work with Spencer Lee. Because Spencer just tends to walk people down. Robert Howard, of course, very high motion, very fast twitch. He's got excellent fakes, and obviously, it's been said a million times on the show, he wrestles like he just snorted a line of coke.
Yeah. Even that being said, right? Eric Barnett's a guy. Who were his losses? Now I think about it, I don't think he might not even have any losses. Right? If you look at that, and he majored Patrick McKee. I don't know why he's seated behind him. That, a lot of things go into this, right? I wouldn't be surprised if Rayvon Fully makes it. I would be kind of surprised if Michael D'Agostino doesn't make the finals, right? But
Barnett lost to Justin Cardini and Malik Hansman.
Yeah, see, that's where things get kind of iffy because I don't think Malik Hansman has lost yet.
Yeah.
Right, and that's where it's going to come in. It's going to be Malik Hansman. I think there's a chance that Devin Schroeder takes out
to Schroeder.
Yeah, see, I don't know why Schroeder's 7th. See, the whole thing is messed up. And I think that just kind of makes it easier and easier for Spencer Lee because if seeding does hold, Spencer Lee is going to, first round, obviously, round 16 is going to get a bye. Quarterfinals, he's going to have Michael D'Agostino. Not too well known, obviously, not kind of boosted a little bit with the seed. We'll look at if seeds do we hold between Patrick McKee and Rayvon Fully, which is a chance I think Rayvon Fully most likely he does get that upset. Spencer Lee had some troubles with Rayvon Fully in the past, That's obviously not losing the match, but just like not being as dominant as he was, right? And then we'll look at the
Yep.
finals. Either comes down to Liam Cronin or Malik Hansman, obviously. So he pinned Liam Cronin pretty damn quick. Malik Hansman
Yeah.
may be a guy who can make it out of the first period with him at best. Maybe go 7 minutes.
I don't know. That's optimistic, but I feel like that just speaks to like just how dominant Spencer Lee has been at this season. I mean, obviously, next year this weight class really opens up.
Yeah, like next year you could be talking about a potential competition. Pat Glory, 95
Yeah.
match. Vito, who's been an absolute unit. And if Suriano comes back, I'll take Suriano over Lee any day. I just have to, again.
I think
Cleveland, Pennsylvania.
I believe that the news going on around like Suriano is that he would come back to 25 to wrestle Spencer Lee again, but that would be it.
I completely agree with that. Right all your wrongs before you leave.
Yeah, I mean, my thought process would be like, with Lee gone, then Suriano is probably looking to go 2-0 against Fix, to be honest. Because Fix is a junior this year, right?
The thing about that is they've wrestled so many times in the past.
Yeah.
Like they've been wrestling all day since like schoolboy duels and all stuff like that. Like a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, let's hop into 133.
Yeah.
There are 3 names you need to know here: Roman Bravo Young, Austin DeSanto, and Sammy Alvarez. Those are 3 names. They're going to place top 3. Kind of does look like they're going to place top 3 in that order, right? It all depends.
Yeah, I mean,
DeSanto can beat Alvarez or RBY. Those guys are very evenly matched. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Sammy Alvarez versus Austin DeSanto is more of a toss-up than people want to believe.
Yeah, and I think I feel like there's going to be people calling me a fucking idiot for this, but I feel like DeSanto still has the potential to pull off against RBY. And I just want to say this in that, I mean, for one, it's wrestling, and pretty much everything can and will happen, right? I mean, I believe they're 2. Last season, they were
2-2 against each other.
They're 2-2 against each other overall, right?
RBY slaughtered him
And if
in
you
Big
think about
Ten's freshman year. He hit that Merkel to beat him at NCAAs, and the rest back, booting him to 7th and 8th match. RB cried out of the cradle at Carver Hawkeye and beat him 3-2 there. So, it was a lot closer of a matchup, and now that they kind of figured each other out, it's just which is going to win, raw athleticism or the high-paced motor. That's really it.
Yeah, so if DeSanto can, get hands on him and keep hands on him, I feel like there's no doubt that he can score, right? I mean, he's probably going to have to focus more on, same side leg attacking as opposed to far leg because RBY is probably going to keep locking up that cradle, right? And it's going to be much harder to lock up the cradle off of a head outside,
And again, that being said, it's a lot easier said than done keeping your hands on somebody that can be that athletic and be that athletic for 7 minutes.
Yeah, and RBY absolutely is preparing for this. I feel like you have this top 3 at 133, and then everyone else is just a tier or so below, just because that top 3 is so good.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all so evenly matched with each other. And what I do like, at least, is that they're going to be really exciting matches. I love the styles here. You got DeSanto, who's always going to come forward. You got Sammy Alvarez, who can scramble like nobody's business. And then you got Roman Bravo Young, who is probably one of the fastest 133-pounders we've ever seen.
Fastest wrestlers in general.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think obviously Roman Bravo Young is going to be game planning for Austin DeSanto, right? Because that's a match you're going to have to game plan for. That's just being obvious, right? But if Alvarez does beat DeSanto, which there's a solid chance that he does, if you watch those matches, they just wrestled. But Alvarez has proven to has gotten closer to putting up points on him than DeSanto has the past 2 times.
Yep.
That just makes it more interesting, right?
Yeah.
And who else do you have? You have Jordan Decatur, who, people thought was a threat coming in as a freshman. And then I don't want to say he was a bust, but he's been kind of underwhelming since he came in.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. But anyways, that it's obviously going to be a great weight class, top 3 battles. Obviously with Seth Gross and Sebastian Rivera out of the weight class, it's just whatever right now. 141.
Ooh,
I'll say it's right now, second hardest weight class, possibly. I think Chad Red and Dylan Duncan kind of bring them up a little bit. But obviously, Jaden Ironman, Yanni Sol lost in his college career, is the 1 seed. And all right, my bad. Nick Lee is the 2 seed from Penn State. Two-time
Yep.
Big Ten champ. Sebastian Rivera is the 3rd seed.
Yeah.
Chad Redd, the 4 seed, and Dylan Duncan, the 5 seed. Names you want to talk about are obviously the top 3. That's a battle of 3 guys. Chances, if the betting odds were there, I would take Sebastian Rivera, I'll be honest. So the fact that he wasn't predicted to win the last 2 times and he did it. But, let's be honest, it's most likely, Lee has the pace and Ironman has the strength and like everything else to advantage.
Yeah. I mean, with Jaden Ironman, the question is always going to be, can you stop the cradle? I feel like there's not really any disputing that. And the thing with both Nick Lee and Seabass, and I mean, they're both primarily guys who have a really good head inside attack, Sebastian Rivera has that great knee pull and he's got a really good ankle pick. It's just going to be a matter of, because Nick Lee and Sebastian Rivera are both guys that benefit from scoring quickly. So it's just going to be a matter of, can Jaden slow them down? And then in terms of Rivera and Lee, if Ironman gets his hand blocked, are they going to get their hip? Are they going to be able to get their hips out in a way in time to avoid like getting turned and giving up like 4 points?
Yeah, and this is where, again, I see Ironman's kryptonite. Nick Lee is infamous for being a lower weight that can shoot without hitting a knee. And that's what he does very well, and that's why he beat Luke Pletcher. If he can do that against Jaden Ironman, he wins the match. That's just that simple. Because if he takes him down, he can pick neutral. Chances are Ironman picking bottom. A lot of this depends. I don't think Ironman's going to willingly take top at that point.
Yeah.
If he does catch him in the career, more than not, if anybody had to have the best chance of getting out of this, it's most likely Nick Lee.
Yep.
Sebastian Rivera also has been a different animal at Big Tens. We've seen it before.
Yes.
Chances are we'll see it again.
Yes.
It's a toss-up between everybody. I have to say that it's in Ironman's favor because Nick Lee does have to go through Sebastian Rivera.
Yeah.
Which is going to present, a little bit of fatigue factor. But Nick Lee also has probably one of the best gas tanks I've ever seen. So that's really what that is. I think another name you can't really overlook is going to be Drew Madden from Michigan.
Yeah.
And and Chad Redd. Chad Redd blast double Jaden Ironman about 10 seconds into their match.
Yeah.
It could very well, if he plays a little bit better, doesn't get cradle, it's like a 1-point match right there. Ironman's not infamous for being a scorer,
Yeah, he gets a couple of cradles, some near fall, and then holds on.
If he didn't lock up that one cradle, it's a 1-point match. It's a lot easier to do stuff the first time than the second time.
Yes.
Yeah, that being said, again, I'm picking Nick Lee for this. I think he's going to get into shots without hitting a knee. And, when Ironman gets frustrated, it doesn't really go too well for him.
Yeah, I feel like, where I stand is pretty clear. I actually do think that Ironman wins it. And that I think the seeds are going to hold. I think it's going to be an Ironman Lee final, and then Seabass kind of just blows through everyone else to place 3rd.
Yeah. He has Russell back. What does he knock off Marcus Polanco or something like that? And then he knocks off Chad Redd. No, I don't really say anything crazy there. The fact that Chad Redd's just like the guy who's like in between the first and second tier right there is like actually crazy because he's insanely good.
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting, But hopping into 149, this isn't awfully seated, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking bad.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think we can all agree Sasso's weight. He's a guy that's been super dominant that nobody talks about. Probably never going to be a guy who wins the Hodge Trophy for the sole fact that he's not that dominant in his wins, but he wins. No,
he stuck Max Muir, and I feel like that's pretty damn good.
Yeah. I think Bo Bartlett dodged a bullet and is in the bottom half of the bracket.
Yeah.
But that's all. I think he does beat Michael Blockus. And I think he does beat Griffin Perry. But does he beat Max Murin? I don't know. I hate Iowa with the passion. We all know this, but I'm pretty sure Max Murin most likely wins that match. Like I'm like completely unbiased. I'm pretty sure Max Murin wins that match.
Bo Bartlett has held a narrower match with Sammy Sasso than everyone else except for Peyton O'Mania.
Yeah. What was Peyton Mania?
7-6.
Yeah, Peyton Mania. Did Peyton Mania throw him onto his back?
Pardon?
Did Peyton Mania throw him?
I haven't seen the match, but I'd bet that he did.
Peyton Mania at 10. People always say Caden Store got caught. He also got caught twice. We've been over this many, many times. Again, I agree if you beat somebody, unless there's pretty obvious criteria going against you, which I don't think in this case. This case there may be actually. His record isn't that good, but I think Caden Store. I don't know about a 5 seed for him. I think that also that's also gonna give Bo Bartlett an easier path because I don't think Michael Block can stop Bo Bartlett.
I feel like
he's undersized. That's the problem.
Yeah, Bo Bartlett has really been nothing short of impressive for me, just on the basis of he's obviously a natural 41, but him being able to get the nod for postseason, and again he's only lost to Sammy Sasso, which I mean obviously he's not wrestling a ton of like top dudes.
He's not a big bonus point guy either, but like any win will help Penn State.
Very positionally sound. He always has been since like high school. And I mean I feel like
no, you got it. I'm just looking at
something. He doesn't let his size, like the way that he wrestles, you wouldn't think that he's severely undersized, but he's obviously a 141 pounder. Mm-hmm. So I mean, next year Nick Lee should graduate next year, shouldn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think obviously the one thing Penn State's going for, they need to beat Iowa. Team title over individual titles. Kale Sanderson preaches this, and then every guy from Penn State preaches. No, I remember I think the one Penn State guy I talked to was Jimmy Lawson, the former heavyweight. He wrestled in that era, like where David Taylor was coming on to see him, like the prime Penn State era. That's where he wrestled. He's obviously a guy who's never really given the love that he deserves, but that's with valid reason right there. And he said it so himself. Yeah. David Taylor, Ed Ruth, these guys just coming on. Looking at that, the team is obviously going to do that. All Bo Bartlett would technically need to do, is place higher than Caden Store. That's all he needs to do. And if he can beat Max Murin, that's like, how if you get 3 points more than them, it's technically 6 points win. That's essentially what that is. And this is a lot closer than people think, right? Because I think we can all agree that, like, Storace could beat Kemmerer. Aaron Brooks is a favorite to Brands. Beard could potentially beat Warner.
Yeah.
Kirk is probably a decent favorite over Cassiope.
Yeah,
the only matches where it's really blown out of the water is going to be Spencer Lee.
Yeah.
And then maybe at 157, if we look at it, Caleb Young, obviously. I'd take Caleb Young over Grady Berge, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Where do you think I think Griffin Perriott is, again, the guy. He's a senior, too. I think he can – I don't think he pushes Sammy Sasso, but I think he can knock off Max Murin if it comes to it.
Yeah, I mean –
but, again, he's going to have to get through Bo Bartlett first. So –
yeah.
We saw, again, a freshman, Zane Rutherford, knock off Logan Stieber. Penn State are miracle workers, if anything. So, obviously I'll still take Sammy Sasso for the win. I think I'll take Max Murin second, and I think Bo Bartlett can pull through third. And then I'll take Griffin Perriott 4, Yaya Thomas 5.
Yep.
I think that's a pretty average list. Yeah, obviously senior's going to be off because of the whole – there's no criteria to go about it for the younger guys, so every freshman is fucked, to say the least. Hopping into 57, right? We've been saying this for a while now. It's Deacon's weight class, right?
Yeah.
I think Chase Odate, the 7 seed, he lost to Will Lewan, I think. That's going to be the interesting part.
Yeah.
I pretty much agree with every seeding here down to number 9. I think anybody below 9 is not really national caliber guys. I think it's Deacon's weight class. We've said that. Caleb Young is back. That's what we need to talk about.
Yeah.
He's back, and he's looking better than ever. Brantley, number
Yes.
3. Caleb Young beat him in overtime. Kendall Coleman lost to Brantley on a close match. Kendall Coleman, returning Big Ten finalist. Brady Berge beat Willowan. Willowan to number 6. Chase Odate, number 7. Garrett Model. It's going to be an interesting one. He did get kind of teched by Deacon pretty bad. And the last player, I remember we talked about this. People were gassing up Chase Odate because he went to overtime with Kendall Coleman. And then people forget that Ryan Deacon beat Kendall Coleman 14-0 and 7-2 in the Big Ten Finals pretty handedly.
Yep.
Deacon's not a guy who's going to put up points. Deacon's a guy who's going to take you down and he's going to ride you.
Yep.
Is there really much to talk about here? And I think about it. It's like, could you see Caleb Young beat Ryan Deacon?
Could.
I think Caleb Young holds a match with Ryan Deacon for the sole fact that his defense is so good. But we've said it over and over again, Deacon is a huge 57. And that plays to advantage almost every time going underneath somebody. He looks like he gets up off his knees just effortlessly.
Yeah. It's freaky.
Yeah, so, overall, my first place is going to be Deacon. Second place, Caleb Young. Third place, I'm going to go Kendall Coleman on this one. Fourth, Brayton Lee. 5, I'm going to go Chase Odate. And 6, Will Luwan. I hate to put Brady Berge at 7, but I think I have to right now. But he's a guy who holds close matches, so he could very well pull up to 5. I think the top 4 are kind of untouchable right now by anybody outside the top 4. I think Chelsea Soldate is knocking at the door. He's going to be there next year. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one wrestling Deacon in even the national finals next year. So, overall, what are your thoughts on who do you think wins this weight class, and what's your top 3?
Well, I still think that Deacon is likely to take first. It's just I'm a fan of Iowa, and Caleb Young, I feel like, has been severely underrated as a wrestler for a really long time. But Deacon's just that good, and I feel like it's going to be a narrow match, like maybe like 5-3. But most of the time, I would still pick Deacon over Young. In terms of top 3, I think the seating holds up. I do agree that Saldate places like 4th or 5th.
Yeah. I'll say this right now. I think Brayton Lee versus Kendall Coleman is a huge toss-up.
Yes.
And I don't see any Rutgers guys in here. Rob Kennard was the one I didn't – is Rutgers not participating? Interesting, but I think they might just miss him out. But if Rob Kennard is wrestling, he's the man to watch out for.
Yes.
Held very good matches with Brayton Lee. And then I've been saying it for a while, one of the most underrated New Jersey products to come out. Beat Connor O'Neill, if you know who that is, in state finals. Obviously overshadowed by big names like John Poznansky, Chris Foca, Shane Griffith. Lost to Shane Griffith his junior in the state finals. Not exactly the best matchup. And it was only 6-1 too. He got turned for 3 points with the bow and arrow. That's really it.
Right.
Hop into 65. There's one name here, Marinelli. What is he, a 3-time champ? 2-time champ now?
I believe so.
Yeah. Is there really anything saying that he won't win his 3rd? Probably nothing. But he most likely will be facing Andrew Sparks in the semifinals.
I've said before, and I just feel like Sparks presents the challenge of style to Marinelli. Now, the big problem is always going to be, first off, Marinelli is massive at 165 pounds. He's a grown man. Andrew Sparks is a true freshman. But I just feel like the thing that really stuck with me on the second watch of Sparks versus Marinelli is that Sparks made adjustments in the middle of the second round to prevent the post high crotch. Now, Marinelli still managed to score a couple times, and he did manage to get one more post high crotch in the match. But it's that adjustment from Marinelli scoring almost at will in the first period to which he barely did. his post high crotch is excellent. I mean, it's not so much that Sparks is bad at defending stuff. It's just that Marinelli has that really, really good shot.
Yeah, I think you
But
see
then
that a
Sparks made
lot
the
too.
adjustments in the second round with his collar tie to try and to keep him off his legs a little bit. So the entry wasn't as clean. So if you think about, they had that match, and then and then Sparks has had all this time to build on that. Because it was only like an 8-4 match, right?
Yeah.
So
And I
say
think
Sparks stops those takedowns, and then he maybe manages to defend one. Now the problem being that I believe Sparks is lefty, and he's got a really good low single to the far side. I don't think that happens against Marinelli. I think Marinelli's positioning is just way too good for him to get his feet caught like that. But I think it's kind of weird to me, but I just feel like this match just comes down to literal physical strength, because I feel like Sparks is really, really good at scrambling, but just Marinelli's ability to like just get guys moving and move their feet, that's a really great way to stop someone from scrambling, because, you know, to scramble effectively, you need to like set at least one foot. That's why you can scramble out of a single leg, but you can't really scramble out of double leg positions, because with a single leg, you still have one free leg to set and move. So, yeah.
And again, you know, I think that's probably the most straightforward take on it. You know, I think it's obviously going to be closer this time, but, you know, if there's a couple names you're looking at coming into nationals, Anthony Valencia just beat Shane Griffith.
Yeah.
And that was huge. You know, again, you know, my money is, again, I'm going to rock with Griffith. I've been saying that. I think that match is a toss-up every time it goes down. I think they both match up very well against Marinelli.
Yes.
You know, I think Griffith versus Sparks would be a very interesting match to see play out. But looking at this bracket, you know, they're not some dark horses, you know. Top three, Ethan Smith, Dan Bronigo, Alex Marinelli. I agree with that. Cameron Amin, Andrew Sparks. I don't think Andrew Sparks has the criteria to be seated up there. Now, I would put him over Cameron Amin, maybe Ethan Smith or Dan Bronigo, but we don't know yet until we see. Joe Lee at number 6 is kind of generous, I'll be honest. After he got stuck by Ethan Smith, I think it was, at their duel. But, you know, Peyton Robb, I think, is a dark horse here from Nebraska. Yep. And Garrett Nijnas from Purdue. I think he's a true freshman too now. Very talented. I think Sparks only beat him 5-3. Yeah, those are really the only guys I can see again. But I will say, I think Alex Marinelli places first. I think I will give Bronigo second place, and I'll say Sparks third.
Yeah.
Solid?
Yeah.
All right, so, yeah, there's not really much to talk about the weight class. It just doesn't provide the depth anymore. You know, with Evan Wick out, Logan Masson moved up, Isaiah White gone. No, it's just not really the same. You know, it's kind of sad. But this is probably one of the more stacked weight classes we're going to talk about next is 174. The 1 seed is Michael Kemmerer from Iowa. 2 seed is Mikey Labriola from Nebraska. 3 seed is Carter Sarachi from Penn State. 4 seed is Logan Massa from Michigan. 5 seed is DJ Washington from Indiana. 6 seed is Kelly Romero from Ohio State. And those are really the only guys I think we have to talk about here.
Yeah.
You know, going on, we have Jackson Turley, Jared Krediger, Jake Allar, Drew Hughes, DJ Shannon, Emil Solomon, Troy Fisher, Philip Spadafora. So, you know, going to the top 6, right? Caleb Romero under DJ Washington is a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
I think you could very well make a case for DJ Washington be the 3 seed.
Yeah.
You know, his only loss is to Labriola. Yeah. You know, if I had to pick a favorite, it would be Labriola. You know, he's a guy whose season's been very underlooked. He's just so sound in every position, can wrestle out of it. He can wrestle from bottom, wrestle from top, wrestle from neutral, and he can score. You know? And DJ Washington almost pinned Labriola with a roll through cradle. If you rewatch that match, you know? Again, Starachi's been on a roll. Kemmerer is the veteran. Labriola has just been the consistent guy at the field. And Massa is just the tank. And Washington's kind of just like the young dude in the field.
I can't find Donald and Mikey.
Oh, I was on Big Ten Plus, I think, probably.
Shit.
Yeah, it's kind of rough.
Hey, Facundo and Donald wrestled at one point.
Really?
Yeah. This is kind of like offshoot of the Big Ten stuff. Like, that's probably the single recruit I'm so excited for.
What school is he going to?
Penn State.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's gonna make things really interesting. He's probably gonna be at 165 maybe. Although he's also he's got a massive frame. His arms are like ridiculously long. I feel like they talked about it on the Who's Number One broadcast, but he could very easily be like a 184 pounder. Give him a couple years.
See, the one problem I see is, remember Mason Manville from Penn State? Yeah, that's maybe just what he ends up like. Because Starachi and Brooks have already defined their spot. And Jolie's maybe the only spot to take it out. I think Beard is a potential national champ this year, too. I'll be honest. I don't think it happens, but that being said, look at this weight class. I'll be honest. I want Starachi to win. I'll say that, but I don't know. I don't know what I could literally not even make a prediction right now. I think these top 5 could go literally any different way, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I could see Kemmerer taking 5th, and I would not bat an eye.
Yeah.
Like that's how crazy it is to say. Or even 6th. Caleb, if you look at Starachi's wins, he beat Logan Masson in double overtime off of a head pinch that he caught when Masson went for a funk roll.
Yeah.
Caleb Romero, he almost had a takedown. He got called back. And then Starachi rode him out to win in double overtime.
Yeah. 174 is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's the weight class that nobody talks about, to say the least, right? I can't give you a prediction. If you're watching this right now on YouTube, drop a comment. Tell me who you have winning 174. And if they do, I'll pin the comment, I guess. Going on to 184, though.
Brooks' weight class. That's just it. It's his weight class.
Do I want to say it or not?
You're about to say something like Rams could upset him.
No. He's the guy in this weight class right now, right?
Oh, Vendor Poznanski.
Taylor Venz at number 6 is just fucking disrespectful.
That is some bullshit.
That is a 2-time All-American because he dropped the match to Chris Weiler and Nelson Brains. Put him in number 6, just split the difference, right? Nelson Brains has one good match. Venz kind of threw that away, I'll be honest. I'll tell you this right now. My final is Aaron Brooks versus Taylor Venz.
Yeah.
I don't think that's too crazy to say. I think Poznanski does beat Owen Webster and make the semis and loses to Aaron Brooks. And I think that's kind of close, to be honest, too.
Yeah. Jesus.
I think Venz is Brooks' only loss. He maybe his actually only loss. I think he was like 9-5 or something like that.
Aaron Brooks lost to 9-5. That's it exactly. Yeah.
And then he came back caught and just. I remember talking to Taylor Venz about this. He was saying when he lets himself get in these high scoring matches, he never really comes out on top. And you saw that firsthand against Nelson Brands too and Aaron Brooks at Big Tens. If he can keep the match under control, I wouldn't be surprised if Taylor Venz wins it. But I will say that Aaron Brooks is most likely the guy. And we've been saying this for a while now, too. Nebraska's a team that's really overlooked. Just because they don't have any solidified Tier 1 guys.
Yes.
Now, I will say, if there's any people that could win it from Nebraska this year, Mikey Labriola's one, and Taylor Venz is the other, and Eric Schultz is the third. If everything goes perfectly, they could have 3 national champs. And, I don't think you should be surprised about that.
Yeah.
I think all those guys placed inside the top 3. No questions asked. But, again, it's really whatever. I think, obviously, Nelson Brands placed a little bit higher, so does Zach Bronigal.
Yeah.
That's really all I can say.
All right, 197?
Yeah, 197. This weight class brought up a lot of debates between Eric Schultz and Miles Amin.
Yeah.
I'll pick Eric Schultz any day over Miles Mean. I'm sorry. Again.
He just hasn't looked this at 97.
Yeah, people try to bring up the argument. Like some dude I was arguing with said, "Oh, Miles Mean's an Olympian." Yeah, for Serbia, sure, but
San Marino, actually.
Huh? San Marino.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody told me Serbia, but
I told you Serbia. Turns out I was wrong.
my bad. All right, yeah, you're good. But yeah, like again, like Amar Desi's an Olympian for Canada. Like again, not them, but he was the third place All American. He's a 3-time All American.
I've been to a clinic with that guy. He's great.
Amar Desi.
Yep.
Dude's good. Yeah. See, what I'm gonna say here is like Michael Beard as a 7 seed. Like that was a 9-5 match against a freshman.
Yeah.
Who's just looking to get better and better at exponential levels. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he tests him. Then Warner's a 3 seed. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the criteria to move him down anymore. I will say this right now. A name you need to watch out for is Thomas Pinola from Purdue, number 6 seed. But these are pre-seeds, obviously. These probably won't stand. We might do another one tomorrow when the real seeds come out, but we'll see what happens as of now, right? I think Pinola can take out Warner. I think that's very possible. He was beating Caffey till he got thrown, right? Caffey versus Davidson, I think Caffey takes that in the quarters. And I ultimately think the finals will be Eric Schultz. I don't know. I could see a lot of these guys winning it. I could honestly see Cam Caffey winning it. I think Caffey matches up. Caffey's an athletic freak. You can never count those guys out.
Yeah.
I can tell you that firsthand. So it's like, honestly, I'll be honest. Like, Eric Schultz is my number 1. I would say Cam Caffey number 2, but I can't do that with these seeds. So Miles Mean number 2, Cam Caffey number 3, Michael Beard number 4, Jacob Warner number 5, and Thomas Pinola number 6, and Davidson number
That holds up. Yeah.
Solid. I think
Solid.
so.
Yeah.
I think another name you need to watch out for is again Jerron Smith from Maryland, placing a little bit higher than 12th.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, some Maryland. Nobody's gonna bat an eye at those guys.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. Yeah, but now the weight class we have all been waiting for. You already know, Heavyweight Nation. We gotta get into this. Greg Kirkflip pulled the 7 seed. Damn.
So
that's all I can say is damn.
Yeah.
I'll look at the ways to see it. I can't say anything about Greg Kirkflip yet. My bad, being the 7 seed because that's the criteria he has. But I think if they're gonna do that to him, they have to see Tate Orndorff at 7. Unless they're going by the fact that Seth Nevels has a win, then he gets a starting spot over him. But I don't know how the criteria would carry over there. But 1, 2, 3 are Gable Stevenson, Mason Parrish, Tony Cassiope. I completely agree with. Luffman is 4. Christian Lance is 5. Trent Hoger is 6. I agree with this. I think if anybody's favorite out of those 3, it's going to be Hoger. Kirkflip, Orndorff right here. Christian Rebentar from Michigan State, 9. Jack Hay from Northwestern, 10. Christian Colucci from Rutgers, 11. Doricus from Purdue. Something I want to say here is I thought Jamarcus Grant was going to get the starting spot. He didn't. It's tough. I think he's a guy who was a national caliber guy, maybe probably like a 30, 32 seed, but he could have very well booked to stick to nationals. I don't know if Dorian Keys can do that.
Yeah.
Rudy Streck from Indiana, Garrett Capps from Maryland. Capps is winless, and Rudy Streck beat him in overtime. I think those are 2 guys. I think those may be bottom 3 guys, maybe the only guys that I don't think are good enough to make it to nationals. I think everybody else, top 11, are good enough. And that's crazy to say, right?
Yeah.
If you look at this, like, who would Gable have in the quarterfinals? Tate Orndorff. I think Orndorff matches up better against Gable than he does against Paris. I still think that Gable most likely tech falls him, but I think it's going to take a little bit of energy out of him.
Pretty quickly.
And I don't know about quickly or pinning him. But same thing you saw with Sam Stoll versus Gable Stevenson's freshman year. It wasn't that easy. If you look at it, it was a 5-3 match. Stoll was kind of bodying him out of bounds too. Quarterfinals, he has Luffman to pin in 33 seconds. Do I think he pins him 33 seconds again? Probably not. And I think out of anybody, Luffman could probably go 6 minutes with his pace. If he gets Gable out of his rhythm, he's got to push him. But, as we're looking at that, right, it becomes really interesting because Tate Orndorff is number 8 and Christian Robitaille is number 9. That's where a steep drop-off happens. Tate Orndorff beat Christian Robitaille 12-2. That's how big the drop-off is. That's a 10-point drop-off. You don't say that in any other weight class.
Yeah.
Tate Orndorff is still a Tier 1 guy. Still Tier 2. That's crazy. So, I'll say my Tier 1 guys are going to be Gable Stevenson, Mason Parish, Greg Kirkflip, Tony Cassioppi, and Matt Stencil. Those are my Tier 1 guys.
Yeah.
Right? I think those are guys who can all compete for a national title.
Yeah.
You look under that, Luffman, Lance, Hilger. I think if anybody has to be favored now, it's going to be Trent Hilger. I don't think anybody would
probably.
Yeah. If Hilger can get his ride on top going, he's going to win a lot of matches just based on riding time.
Yeah.
Again, Luffman's not – if he can hold – he needs to hold Luffman down to win.
Yeah.
But, let's go over this. So, Mason Parish versus Greg Kirkflip, if these seeds hold. Could be going on the quarterfinals. There's a solid chance that Ohio State could fight to get Tate Orndorff seated above Greg Kirkflip. Basically, fucking Penn State.
Yep.
But if this does happen and Kirk does pull the upset on Gable, that's like the hit heard around the world. Like, that's gonna be something different.
Be fucking ridiculous.
I wouldn't say it's not that big of an upset, like, either. Like, that was a 1-point match last time they wrestled. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I feel
level.
like that's been the question for, like, at least the past year and possibly even 2 years. It's like, okay, how does he do against Kirk? Because Kirk was probably one of the bigger upper-weight recruits touted over the past 2 years. I mean, if you think about, like,
Braxton Amos, too.
Upper-weight recruits that were a big deal. You got Gable, you got Kirk, you got Ferrari, really.
Amos, too.
Amos, yeah.
Yeah, I think Amos was the biggest recruit.
By far.
Yeah. Imagine me, how people don't – I can't even fathom how hard it is to wrestle an entire career in general without giving up an offensive point. But to do that at 220 as a freshman, basically, at 95 I think he was, without giving up a singular point is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Like, God damn, like,
I can't imagine wrestling 195 as a freshman.
Yeah. For perspective here, he beat Chase Horn 8-2. And he's not even a scorer. Another thing people talk about, how people say this heavyweight class is weak. People don't realize how – I will say this right now. You're probably not going to believe me, but you'll find out soon enough. This weight class, this recruiting class for heavyweight will be one of the best ever. When Jimmy Mullen is a senior. Jimmy Mullen will most likely be just as high a title as recruit as Gable Stevenson was, or if not higher. And don't be surprised if he is, right? But that being said, where do I have everybody placing? Obviously, I'll say right now, Gable number 1. I'm rocking with the precedent until something else changes. And I think that's a valid take, right? I don't think
I'm gonna pick Kirk to make the run of the I wouldn't say the run of the decade or century or whatever, but I mean, I'll pick Kirk for the upset. I'll pick Kirk for the upset. Yeah.
Fuck it, let's make it 2 for 2. If this happens, this is getting posted on TikTok or wherever the fuck right now. If this shit happens, just remember that. Now it's called no done time for this too.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat my goddamn words if Gable has suddenly become levels above Kirk, but I'm deeply skeptical of that.
Mm-hmm. I think obviously it's a good match, but I would not be surprised if Kirk comes out there and, like, that being said, this might be the dumbest thing you ever fucking heard. If Kirk comes out there and just fucking literally just toys with Gable, like, I would not be surprised. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he gets toyed with.
Yeah, that wouldn't be, like, the most surprising thing I've ever seen, to be honest. I mean,
because, again, look at the room he's wrestling in, right?
Yeah.
And they bring in international guys like before COVID. They were bringing in guys like Taha Agul there,
Yeah.
who is the best heavyweight in the world, right? Taha Agul is
Yes.
better than Gable Stevenson. We'll be honest right now. Tech full
Bar
Nick
none.
Zdowski. Yeah, obviously. They gained the placement, obviously I'll say that. I don't think I think Kirkflip will exploit Paris for everything Paris is good at. The attack rate will come
Yeah.
back to hurt him very bad.
Yeah, that's just the
And
big thing, you know. I
can
mean,
Paris ride
Kirk,
him on top? I don't know.
I don't see it.
If as long as Kirk doesn't get toyed with physically, he beats Paris pretty handily.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you looked at that, his attacks didn't. If you looked at his debut during Maryland, his attacks didn't look too crisp, but he's also wrestling Maryland, so he's just firing away and away. He was 6-2 in under a minute, and he was on top just chilling for like 20 seconds before he pinned him with a casual roll through cradle. Dude's just having fun there. The only difference is he's humble, unlike Gable. Not that I
Yeah.
care, but
Yeah.
yeah. The thing is, it's a win-win situation for him. If he can play seventh and nobody would care.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only good part. But let's get into my placing. Kirkflip won. Why not?
Yeah, fuck it.
Gable second. Parish third. I want to take Hilger fourth.
You pick Hilger over Cassiope.
But I'm not. That was a 1-point match last time they wrestled. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take Cassiope there. Hilger 5. Lance 6.
Yeah, that's a fair
Lawson
vote.
7. Orndorff 8. I think that's all the placing matches they have, right?
Yeah.
And I think the end seating, Colucci is probably 9, Repetaro 10, but I don't know. Dude, Chris and Colucci's just been a disappointment, I'll be honest. Rutgers needs a new heavyweight. I thought Boone was going to be wrestling, and I was like, ooh, maybe Boone takes out Tate. Probably not. But
yeah,
that's really what that is for this weight class, dude. Like, any final takes, like, for anything. What we're going to do? We're going to make one bold-ass call right now. You go first, and if it's right, we go viral.
I mean, obviously, Kirkflip beating Gable, Kirkflip wins the title, right? But in terms of other bold-ass calls, I mean, I said it last year, and I genuinely meant it. I feel like DeSanto is still national finals caliber.
Oh, 100%. I don't think anybody's arguing that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think if something crazy happens and Fix does not make his way to the finals, I think DeSanto could win it all.
Dude, that would make the meme come true. You know how many followers Gordon would get because of that?
Oh, my God.
That would piss me off more because I've been grinding my ass off. But, yeah, my bold pick now. Just hear me out.
All right.
Mikey Labriola wins 74. Is it a bold pick?
I mean,
I don't think it's a bold pick. No, actually, fuck that. Let's go again. How about this? My bold pick. Hear me out. Bo Bartlett wins 149.
Holy shit! What?
I don't have anything else. You took my bold pick. If this being said, if Kirkflip does win it, I called it last year. Okay? I want to let that be known, but all right, if nothing else is to be said, let's cap this off of some dumb shit we just said. So thank you guys for watching Late Night Shots podcast. It's been episode 51. We just went over all the Big Ten preview, the Preseeds come out. We'll probably get another one for you when the real seeds come out. If they defer too much and maybe Kirkflip gets bumped up somewhere, something moves along, maybe a Kirkflip versus Gable quarterfinal match would make shit even more insane. But that being said, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you again next time.